Yesterday, Minecraft has added the copper golem into the game and it's amazing. But today I got you 10 fresh facts about the mob, some which are bugs, some which are functions, and some are things that never made it to the game. So in today's video I will cover some of these facts. And hi, if you want more videos like this, I recommend liking and subscribing because it will help to grow my channel. And of course comment which your favorite fact was and if you knew all of them. So now let's go. In an announcement video of the Copper Golem, Mojang has shared some versions of the Copper Golem that could have made it into the game. I don't know if this was after Minecraft Live 2021 or before Minecraft Live when they showed the pixel art. So as you can see, we got 4 different faces and also some different texture versions. And as you can see, the lightning rod kind of charges the mob on the third picture right there. And when you look at the faces on the bottom, you can see I think that the third one got chosen, but the fourth one also looks interesting. It kinda looks like the spider's eyes. The second one also reminds me of the normal copper golem, and the first one too, so the only weird one is the fourth one. And there were some versions without its copper rod, which is pretty interesting. And I will mention the copper rod later on, but as you can see, I think that they are planning some function for it too. Even if we got the copper golem which was from the mob vote, the mob does not have the same functions, and probably the main one is that we are not getting copper buttons. At least we didn't get them in this version. And copper buttons would be a new feature which the copper golems would press, but instead they went with chests, which is a much more original idea, and maybe just spamming buttons would be a little boring. But yeah, we still don't know if we are getting any buttons in the game, but I don't think that we will get anything like that, sadly. In this beta they have also added copper chests, but the thing is their placement is very weird, and some people may think that this is a bug, but I think that this is a feature. So as an example, when I place an oxidized copper chest and I place a normal copper chest, it just becomes one normal copper chest. And if I place a weird copper chest and then an exposed copper chest, the exposed one takes over. You can also mix them with wax versions, so as you can see I can do that. And I can just place also normal chests and mix them with the waxed ones. And how does it work? I don't even know. Should you be able to mix the waxed ones and the weathered ones? I have literally no idea, but I think I know how this placement works. They are always choosing the younger version of the block. So if I choose oxidized, it will never be oxidized if I use another block. So as an example, if I use blocks which are younger than the oxidized copper chest, it will just turn into the younger one. So copper chests will always be the dominant one, and they will always be, they will just always appear as the main one right here. And I don't know if this is intentional, but this is a pretty neat feature that I think you should know about when you are starting to farm your copper chests. We also got a pretty weird bug. So as you can see, when I have a block of copper, weathered copper, exposed copper and oxidized copper, and I place a pumpkin, it will literally turn into the copper golem that I want. But if I place them like this on the side normally as always, and I place the pumpkin on the side, it just turns into a normal copper golem. Not with its oxidized versions, only a normal copper golem. And let's see if it also works for the waxed versions. So if I do this, yes, it turns into a normal copper golem. And this is probably a bug because this shouldn't even work at all. But it works, and yeah, this is a pretty nice fact. I don't think that they will keep it in the game after a while, but this is still a nice thing to know. Another thing that is 100% a bug is when you search up copper in your creative inventory and you go to the normal blocks, the blocks for the weathered copper and the exposed copper are not on the right places. We should get the exposed copper on this place and the weathered copper on this place, but it doesn't happen. And on the other blocks it works normally as it should, but the only problem is for normal blocks of copper. And I think that I noticed this on stream, and I don't even know how they messed up the placement, because the placement of literally anything else is normal. The only placement that is kind of broken is for the normal copper blocks. So yeah, this is another random thing, and it will surely be fixed in the next drop or the next version. In 2021, when they announced the copper golem for a mob vote, Ulrav, one of the developers, has confirmed that the copper rod would have done something to the copper golem. We don't know what the feature would be, but I think that it had to do something with lighting. and it's sad that we don't see any features with it for now, but we might get something pretty soon. Also, as a fact, the copper golems are the only ones who have oxidized versions of the weather rod, because if you just search it up, or lightning rod, the lightning rod doesn't have any other versions except for the normal copper one, and it doesn't even oxidize. So this is a pretty nice fact, and this means that we might get new rods in the future too, and I'm counting all of this as one fact, by the way. Even though most mobs drown underwater, the copper golem doesn't. It just walks normally underwater, and you can also spawn it underwater, as you can see. And when you use a copper chest, and let me get a normal one, it will function normally. There's literally nothing wrong with it, and this is a pretty nice feature. It can work for underwater systems, and as you can see, it moves a little slower because it's literally underwater, so you are slow underwater, but it still works. And that's amazing, but it's a little weird because the copper golem is literally a robot. Its eyes are literally copper bulbs, and electricity like that would probably break in real life. But by Minecraft logic, it survives totally normally underwater. If you are wondering how fast and how much the stone, copper and iron pickaxe can mine, here's the comparison. So at the beginning, a normal stone pickaxe can mine 2 stacks plus 4 blocks. It also mines 68 blocks per minute, which is pretty slow. But now let's move on to the copper pickaxe. The copper pickaxe mines the blocks faster and more, but it is not such a big difference. It mines 189 blocks compared to the stone pickaxe, which had 118. It is only 71 blocks difference, which makes the copper pickaxe mine 60% more blocks than the stone one. And also the copper pickaxe breaks 82 blocks per minute, which makes it 20% faster than the stone pickaxe. Okay, so the iron pickaxe has much better durability because it can destroy 251 blocks instead of the 189 which the copper pickaxe can do, and it's a 32% buff from the copper one to the iron one. But the copper pickaxe is better at destroying things fast. It destroys around 82 blocks per minute, while the iron one only destroys 80 blocks per minute. It's a small difference, but it makes copper better sometimes. Okay, so there might be more animations and features for the copper golem coming soon, because in the files, there are files for some other animations for other variants of copper golems, which are the oxidized ones, because as you can see in the game, they just work normally as they do with every variant. But if we had different animations, it would show that they're getting older and they'll be much nicer. And also, copper golems were supposed to be statues when oxidized, and that doesn't happen in the game obviously, and that is a little weird. So in my opinion, they should add statue versions to these golems. Okay, so as the last fact, I'm going to include the video that we got and some type of secret feature maybe. Yes, in one of the videos and articles we saw the copper chest, but above we could see some blue glow berries. Some people thought that this was a bug, some people thought that this was a feature, but it did not look good. And also the texture of the vines looked different, and it didn't have as many leaves as normal glow berries. But later on we got a developer to confirm for us that this is some kind of practice paint over for the glow berries, and maybe this is some work for the artist. This still does not make this thing fake, and we can get some update for the glow berries in the game anytime. And also, many people are speculating that we are getting the glare into the game, and that is maybe true. So do you think that these berries have something to do with the glare? Do you think that we are getting the glare and these berries? Please comment. And that is how I'm wrapping up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you will stay tuned for the next video, and remember to like and subscribe for more. See you next time and have a good day.